Hey everyone, I'm Clarice and welcome to my channel. I'm so excited you're here. In today's video, I'm going to share some tips on how to score in A-level biology as someone who went from B's and C's to scoring a 93 A-star overall. I wanted to create this video to help other students like myself who are very short in time because in Malaysia, A-levels is typically done over a period of 14 to 17 months and it is pretty intense, especially when you have to balance 4 or 5 subjects. I wish I had someone to tell me these tips back then, which is why I'm making this video, kind of as an older sister or a friend who's been through it to help someone out. Before I begin, this video will be broken into 4 parts, and that would be understanding, memorizing, application, and practical skills. You need to be able to master these 4 areas, I would say, in order to do well in A-level biology. I'll also be including my resources like notes, flashcards, past papers, and any apps I used. Don't mind the fact that I keep looking down because my laptop is here with all the points I want to tell you guys. The first step to scoring well in A-level biology is to understand everything in a lot of detail. To do this, I would always make sure to read the learning outcomes before my teacher begins a new topic, so I know exactly what I need to understand and prioritize. This saved a lot of my time and energy as I wouldn't get distracted by less relevant details. Seeing how the information was all connected to form a bigger picture also made it easier for me to recall later, because I wasn't just remembering random facts floating around in my head. The second thing I used for my understanding were notes from Save My Exams. I'll link them down below, and I'm not sponsored. It was one subscription I paid through my nose for as a college student, but it is one I do not regret. I love these notes because they are comprehensive and they're great at explaining all the complex concepts by breaking them down into small, manageable chunks. They also include colorful diagrams, mind maps, and process maps, which were really helpful to me as a visual learner because, again, I could see how everything was linked together. Everything is beautifully organized, which, in my opinion, helps you remember the information better. However, I wouldn't spend forever studying these notes. I read them through once or twice to understand before moving on to my next step, and that is memorizing. So after I've understood the material, I work on retaining all the information. Unfortunately, biology is a subject where you can't run away from memorizing. For complex concepts and processes, I draw and blurt out the biological cycles 2 or 3 times. To save time, I only did this with the ones I struggled with the most, like processes in aerobic respiration and the stages of photosynthesis. But if you absolutely do not have time, feel free to skip this step. Now, the key to memorizing so much information is active recall. And I only realized the benefits of this technique after completing my AS level exams. So unfortunately, I only have flashcards for A2 biology. I wish I'd made them for AS too. They're a compilation of essay questions and mark scheme answers for every topic in A2. I made them with an app called Brainscape, and I'll link them down below for anyone who wants to use them. They're completely free. Now, I'm super confident that using flashcards to study actually works because I'm a result of this. I scored better overall in my A2 biology exams than I did for AS, and this is actually harder to do apparently. The only difference I made to my study methods was incorporating flashcards. Now that you've understood and memorized all your material, it's time to apply it by doing past questions. The first tip I have is to take note of specific command words in questions. This will help you answer accurately without wasting time. For example, questions with words like state, list, or name will require much shorter answers compared to questions with words like describe, assess, or explain. That will require much longer answers, and you should therefore allocate more time for those. The second tip I have is to be very careful with word dumping, because if you're unsure of a fact, think very carefully before writing it down. If it contradicts another part of your answer, you could easily lose a mark or 2 instead of gaining an extra one. And this is something one of my lecturers told me. My third tip is to complete topical questions as you go after you finish each topic. I got mine from Shopee, and again, I'm not sponsored. They're online PDF versions, and I'll link them down below. So I complete about 10 to 12 pages of questions after each topic, mark them, and write down any corrections or points I missed in a different colored pen. Now, this is just as important as completing the questions themselves, because if you don't know what you're getting wrong, you aren't going to be able to improve. For full past year papers, I do them closer to the exam, and I got them for free from physicsandmathtutor.com or websites like Papa Cambridge. And same as the topical questions, I'd mark all of my completed past year papers and write my mistakes in a different color. And the good news is that if you do topicals after every topic, you won't need to do as many full papers. I only managed to do 7 sets before my real exam, and it turned out more than 5. For practical papers like papers 3 and 5, I always made sure to turn up for labs and give my full attention to the various experiments we completed in class. After that, I did the same thing with the practical past year papers like I did for normal past papers. I complete them, mark them, correct them. Though they don't carry as much weightage as the other papers, they can still make the difference between a B or an A, so don't neglect them entirely. The most important tip I have for practical skills is for paper 5, and that is to memorize all the statistical tests. I know it's annoying, but they're easy marks and they will come out in every paper 5 you do, one way or another. Now you've got to remember the name of each test, its purpose, its formula, when it is used, its steps, and how to conclude from the results of each respective test. Not to worry, I made flashcards for these statistical tests too, along with all the A2 topics. You can access them in the link I'll put down below. And that's all the tips I have for scoring an A-star in A-level biology. Now, I don't consider myself a particularly intelligent person, and I never thought that it would be something I could achieve. So I just want to tell you that you can do it and that you should believe in yourself. Thank you so much for watching. If this video was helpful to you, feel free to like and subscribe to my channel for more videos. I'll be sharing about my life as a medical student in 2025, and I'd love for you to join me on the journey. See you soon.